So we'll follow the same format as the last couple of weeks. We'll do a mobilisation and a warm-up. Then we'll do a circuit where we're looking at cardio, upper body strength, lower body strength. Then we'll come on to a few core exercises, a few more balance exercises, and a little bit of a stretch. So we're looking to work at that level 4 out of 10. So you want to feel that you're breathing a bit harder, that your heart rate's increased, but you don't want to feel that that you couldn't have a conversation. So you want to be able to still speak in full sentences. Make sure you've got water. If you've got a chair, it will be useful. For some of the exercises, just to put your hand out for balance, but for some of the exercises, we will be sitting in them, particularly the core ones. If you've got weights or a band, you can use those. If you haven't, you can use a can of soup, can of beans, or you can just do the exercises body weight only. Okay, so we'll start with mobilisation. So if you start with your feet together, and then we're going to bring the toes out to 45 degrees and bring the heels out to join them. And that ensures that you're in a posturally strong position because you've got your ankles, knees and hips all in line. We're then going to start just rolling the shoulders up, circling them around backwards. And again, we're just doing this from a bit of a posture point of view initially. So this time when you roll them down, you're going to roll them down into your back pockets. Just try and put the shoulder blades down into your back pockets. So that ensures that you have a good gap between your ears and your shoulders, just lengthening the neck. And then try and stretch the spine up so you're standing up as tall as you can. Okay. So breath in, and as you breathe out, just turn your head to the right. You're just following an imaginary horizon. Breathe back into the middle. Over to the left. And back to the middle. Just make sure those shoulders are staying down as you're turning the head. And back to the middle, last one over to the left. And back to the middle. And then just let your chin drop onto your chest, hold it there. Breathe in, look straight ahead. And then tip your head back, look up towards the ceiling. And back to the centre. So we're going to roll the shoulders forwards now. Make those circles as big as you can. Try and get them up to the ears, but then again, really push them down to the floor. Just keep breathing. One more in this direction, then we're going back the other way. I always go back second so that you're encouraging you to finish with the shoulders back rather than forwards. Last one, so again we're trying to finish with the shoulders down into the back pockets. So nice and back, nice and low. Breath in and then breathe out, float both arms up, take them out in a big circle, reach for the side walls. Again, breathing out as you come up, breathe in as you circle out, stretching out. Do a couple more. Last one. And then this time, just bring the arms forwards to shoulder height. So we're going to open out the chest a little bit by pulling both elbows back, palms flat to the floor. From this back position, try and rotate the shoulders up. Now, if you have shoulder issues, you'll find they don't go particularly far. Don't push it, so don't go further than you're comfortable going. Just see if you can rotate up. Keep the tummy pulled in so that you're not putting strain on the back. So breathe out as you pull, and then just breathe normally. Do two more. So really try and get those elbows back. And then bring the arms down to your sides. So then come into the side bend, going right first. Breath in, and then over to the right. Now think about where your weight is on your feet. You may find as you bend to the side that the weight goes onto this side now. So instead, just try and keep grounded through the feet into the floor, keep the weight equal, and then you should find you get a better stretch down this side. We'll do a couple more, give you a chance to have a think about feet. Last one. And back to the middle. Okay, so we're going to do the pendulum in this section rather than in the balance section. Just find something to hold on to if you need to. Again, standing at that tall position, other hand on the hip, and then we're just taking that leg out to the side. It's not a large movement, but you're trying to keep it straight. Imagine you've got a pane of glass in front of you, another one behind you, you're sandwiched between them, and just sliding that leg out between the panes of glass. Do one more on this side. And change sides. Okay, so I've got room. Now I'm keeping my foot off the floor between each one, but you can put it down, particularly if you're not holding on, if you need to put your foot down between each one, that's perfectly fine. Two more. Okay, now I haven't done the next one before, it's flamingo. So we're kind of warming the leg up, the hip up in a forwards backwards motion. I'll show you this direction and I'll turn side on. So we're just doing little movements where you're brushing the floor. So side on. Again, just keep it nice and controlled. Knees slightly bent. Hip is swinging, but you're just brushing the floor gently. And then changing sides. And back to the centre. Okay, so we haven't done this next one either. I'm doing it as a mobilisation warm-up. But we will do it as part of the circuit, or you have the option to do it as part of the circuit. I will show you first and then I'll explain. So, small range of movement is this warm-up. Think of it as round the clock. You're going to 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And it's good as a balance exercise. So if you think you're on imagine you're on a bus, the bus jerks and you just need to take that step to steady yourself. But then we can later do it as a strength exercise as well. Okay. And obviously if you have painful knees, just reduce that range of movement. It's still a good thing to do because functionally you might need to do this. You still need to use the legs, so we're strengthening the quads. But just reduce the range of movement so you're not in pain. And we'll change legs. Just get used to that feeling. Try and keep the body up really tall still. So you're not leaning into it. Body stays up tall. The legs just coming out to protect you. Take that balance. When you take the foot behind you, try and have the toe pointing at 45 degrees so that you're not stretching the Achilles. Let's do a couple more. Brilliant. Well done. Okay, so that's brought us nicely into our warm-up, which will start with some marching. Grab a drink if you need to. At any point, just go and get a drink if you need to. So you can start off fairly low, and then as you get warmer, you can pick the knees up a little bit higher. Just get the elbows moving a little bit more forwards and backwards. So we're going to come into swing and sway, so the feet are coming out sideways. Again, you can either just transfer weight or you can add in a bend in the middle. Just take your arms, shelf out if you can, a little bit higher if you want to. So you can turn the body to watch the arms, so you're getting a little bit of rotation, warming up around the middle. And coming back to marching. So next one we're going to do spotty dog. You can either do both arms or you can do opposite arm and leg. That's quite good from a coordination point of view. So you're tapping back with one leg, bringing the other arm forwards. So we're trying to take all the joints through different ranges of movement. And last one on each side. And back to marching. The next one we'll do will be the box step. So that's where you're visualising you've got a box in front of you. You're standing, or you will be standing on the rear two corners. And then you're going to step forward onto the front two corners. Keep the arms swinging, or relaxed anyway. And then we're going to change direction. You've got to work out stepping on the other corner first. One more. And back to marching. You pick the knees up a little bit higher now, or increase your speed if you want to. And then we're going to come into half jacks. So one arm, one leg out to the side. You just have a little, take the weight off, sorry, not the weight off, bend the supporting leg a little bit so that you're not hyperextending. Just protect that joint. One more each way. And back to the marching. Okay, so we're ready to come into the circuit now. So if you need to grab a drink at this point, do. We're going to start the circuit with marching. If you want to take it higher, you can come into a little jog. So if you look sideways and your feet don't even need to come off the floor. Or keep it at marching, but I will give you another option for progression. So as we're going through the minute, a couple of times I'll say fast feet. If you want to do fast feet, you just get them going as fast as you can for 5 seconds, and then we come back down, okay? That's an option, you don't have to do it. So again, we're going to do everything for up to a minute, but you just do as much of that minute as you feel like doing today. Might be more than last week, might be less than last week. And off we go. And fast feet if you want to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to marching. Well done. And fast feet if you want to, last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and stopping there. Brilliant. So our first upper body exercise is bicep curls. So you can have your band or your weights. If you're all body weight, so body weight, you're just curling up, but then stretch the fingers out as you come down. If you're using the band, I would tend to say have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, curl up. You don't have to do the knee bend, but you can if you want to. Okay, I'm going to use weights today. Off we go. So you can step forward or you can just stay as you are. Remember to keep breathing. Just keep those elbows tucked into the waist. It's good work. And we're coming up for 30 seconds. And 45 seconds. Last 3, 2, 1, and stopping there. So our lower body exercise is for the calves. So we're going to do heel raises. I would recommend you have a little bit of support, either from a wall or a chair. So you can do them in sets of 5. So you can do 5 raises up, down, then do 5 where you're coming up slowly, down at normal pace, and then reverse it. So 5 where you're coming up, normal pace, down slowly. And just see how many sets of 5 you can do in the 60 seconds. Off we go. And if you can, just try and get your balance at the top, so you're just holding it for a little bit at the top, trying to keep your weight through your big toe and your second toe. So now I'm coming up slowly, down normal. And we're halfway through. And now coming up normal pace and slowly back down to the floor. 45 seconds gone. So for the last few seconds, I'm back to 1 up, 1 down. And we stop there. Okay, so next exercise is half jack. Our cardio exercise. So either like that, or if you want to make it a little bit harder, take both arms out at the same time. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1. "15 seconds gone. Can you check the camera? Okay. 35 seconds gone. Fifteen to go. 3, 2, 1, and stopping there. Okay, so the upper body exercise, we're working the arms and the chest. We're going to do press-ups. But again, we're going to go for that sets of 5. So first set of 5, have your hands at shoulder height, same height. Second set of 5, just change them. So you've got one at head height, one just below chest height, and then reverse it. And you'll find that that actually uses the hands a little bit differently. So you're here, then you're changing to there for 5, and there for 5. Plus it makes it a little bit more interesting, makes the time go quicker. So in 3, 2, 1, off we go. So just pushing against the wall, 5 with your hands at shoulder height to start with. If you can, keep the heels on the floor, keep your tummy pulled in, 15 seconds gone. And then changing so the hands are offset. And the other way. And then back to the first block, hands level, and we have 15 seconds to go. Just resting there, good work. Okay, so next one, we're going to do either sit to stand or that compensatory stepping, round the clock is another name for it, that we did in the warm-up. If you have arthritis in the knees and painful knees, I would recommend sit to stand because then you're building the strength when we're doing it for a minute in a good way. Otherwise, you can do the lunging, but try and take it a little bit deeper. Okay, and then just alternating legs, or I'll tell you at 30 seconds. So you can choose which one to do. 3, 2, 1, off you go. Again, just take it nice and steady, whichever one you're doing. Try and, whichever one you're doing, again, just keep the body up as tall as you can, and you're halfway through. Seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Okay, so our cardio exercise is boxing. So we've done that one, we've done hook. So this week we're going to add the next 2 for those that want to. So we're going to come a little bit lower for a hook and then an uppercut. So all I'm going to do is cycle through those 8 shots. So if you want to follow me, you can. If you want to go free form, you can. 60 seconds, starting now. Just make sure your back foot's out at 45 degrees. I'm going to do 4 of each shot. And then coming up for an uppercut. And back to jab and across. Hook. Body hook. And uppercut. And back to the top. We've got 15 seconds, oh, went on there, 15 seconds to go. Not that there is really a wrong, we just keep it moving. Last few seconds, and resting there. Okay, so we're going to work triceps now. That's one that we haven't worked before. And this is one where I would recommend doing one arm at a time, because otherwise the triceps might be quite painful tomorrow. If you have weights or body weight, stand with your elbows back, arms kind of on your thighs, and then you're just going to stretch out there. When you get to that straight position, just try and squeeze, and you should feel it working in the backs of the arms, okay? If you're using a band, have the band coming out of the heel, and then from that position, just arm down by the side. In fact, no, have your elbow out a little bit further and squeeze to there. So you just need to have the elbow a bit further back to allow for the band. Okay, off we go. So I would recommend doing one arm at a time, so I'll tell you when we're halfway through, just because otherwise it might be a little bit much. Just take it nice and steady, try and get that squeeze at the top of the movement. So keep the elbow bent, and then it's that straightening, you should feel it in the top of the arm. And changing arms if you're doing single side. Give that squeeze. 15 seconds to go. Good work, and resting there. Our lower body, we're going to work on hamstrings, the thigh. Standing exercises, you can either hamstring curl, or we have our RDL, remaining deadlift. So you're keeping one leg straight, keep that as straight as you can. And then extending the other leg out behind you, but you're trying to keep straight line. If you're sitting down, or you don't fancy either of those, you can sit down, press one foot into the floor, and then draw it back towards you, and you'll still find that that muscle is contracting under the thigh. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, off we go. You should feel this in the hamstring on the standing leg. 15 seconds on. Now if you can, try and keep your hips level as well. If you're doing single leg, change legs. If you're alternating, keep going. "45 seconds done. Two, 1, and stop there. Okay, so we're back to what we did last week. We're going skiing. So just as a reminder, starting with the arms up high, and you're swooshing down the hill. Okay, off we go. That's great. Some really good power going into those moves. We're halfway through. 10 seconds to go. You see that finish line? 2, 1, and stop there. Great work. Okay, so next one we're going to work with the shoulders, with the shoulder press. I'm going to show you sitting down because you'll see it more clearly. So ideally, it doesn't work so well with a band, so you might have to do body weight. But with weights, you would have hands to your shoulders and then you're pushing up. Obviously, you can do it seated or you can equally do it standing. This is another one that might be a bit tough to do for a minute. So what I would suggest is doing it in blocks of 8, either single-sided or double-sided. Taking a rest at 8 if you need, and then re-going, seeing how many sets you do in the 60 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, off you go. So if you're doing it body weight, same applies. Try and create momentum as you're pushing up. Just coming back so the elbows are in line with the shoulders. Breathe out as you push up. That's 30 seconds gone. Remember to take a breath literally, but also to have a rest if you need. "45 seconds gone. And resting there, well done. Excuse me, I'll just grab a drink. So our lower body exercise. For the glutes, so the big muscles in the bottom, they're the ones that support the back, do a lot of work that the back does if the glutes aren't strong. So we're going to do a standing squeeze, show you from a couple of different angles, leg back, toe turned out, and then pushing. Small moves. So you see from behind, out, to side, and push. We'll do 30 seconds up to on each leg in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So turn that toe out and then just push forwards. If you don't like that one, you can do the one we did last week where you're sitting on a chair and then just clenching to raise up in the chair slightly. We've done 15 seconds. You might feel this one tomorrow as well. And change legs. So foot behind, toes turned out, and just pulsing the leg back. Really small squeezes. Remember to keep breathing. 15 seconds to go. Last 3, 2, 1, and rest there. And then just pedal through, treading grapes, just release the tension. So our next cardio exercise is spotted dog. So again, that's tapping back and either one or both arms forwards. Up to 60 seconds, starting now. And you can just vary the pace so that you're working at that level 4. "30 seconds gone. Really good work. "45 seconds gone. 2, 1, and resting there. So the next exercise is a bent over row. So this works the back, keeps the back nice and strong. Easiest way to get into position. I'll show you with weight first. Feet hip width apart. Place one hand on the back of the seat of the chair, and just let your arm hang down to the floor. And then elbow up. So notice that my wrist is just staying in line with the rest of my arm. Okay. If you have a band, stand with the band coming out of the side of the foot, and it's exactly the same. Elbow up to the ceiling. If you don't have any weights, just do it as body weight. I'll start the clock, you're all going. Just do it as body weight, but get that squeeze just at the top of the move. I'll just come and watch just to check that we're all doing okay. Good, so keep the wrists strong. So you want it to be in line rather than curling round, okay? Just keep it in line, that's good. Changing arms now. Well done. Fifteen seconds to go. And rest there. So this is our last lower body exercise. We're going to do some toe points. The reason I've included this one is because it's a really good way for strengthening the quads without having to do squats and lunges. So for those of you that are not keen on those, it gives you another alternative. So what we're going to do, if I show you first of all, take one foot out, but again, if you have the toe turned out, you're going to then squeeze and back. Squeeze and back. So if you put your hand on the thigh, you should notice that as you get that squeeze in, you're almost trying to press the back of the knee into the floor. You should find that that's contracting. So just try a few first before we get going. And just check that you can feel that you're getting that squeeze. You can equally do that from sitting. So from here, you can then, in fact, if you then lift it, is an easier way from sitting. Okay, and we'll get going for 60 seconds. So we'll do 30 seconds on each leg. And again, just make sure you keep breathing. It's quite easy to hold your breath on this one. Getting ready to change legs. And changing over. Really squeezing the thigh as you're pointing that foot forwards. Three, two, one, and rest it there. Okay, so we're going to do the last cardio exercise. We're going to go back to marching or jogging with the option of fast feet for those that want to take it. Okay, and off we go. So I'll just give you two fast feet options which you can choose to take or to ignore. And fast feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to marching. 45 seconds gone. And getting ready for fast feet and fast feet. 3, 2, 1, and rest it there. Well done. Okay, so keep your feet moving. Just grab yourselves a drink, and then we'll come into some core exercises. So these are ones where you need a chair. So have you sitting down, if I show you side on. Try and sit in the front third of the chair so that you're taking your own body weight and you're sitting up as tall as possible. Again, we want ankles, knees, hips in line, so start off with your feet together and then bring toes out, heels out to join them. And you should find that everything is hip width apart. We're going to start with the pelvic floor exercises, so just bring your elbows forwards onto your knees. You want to keep the spine in line, so just pick a point about 6 feet in front of you. You can focus on that. That just keeps everything in line. Now we're going to pull up through the pelvic floor. So we're going to start off by trying to prevent passing wind, coming forwards. We're then going to stop the flow and hold it there and release. Okay. So again, we're going to pull up the back, moving to the front, squeezing up, holding it there, keeping breathing. And release. So pulling up again. Now this time think about your glutes, so the muscles that we were working where we were squeezing and we were lifting from the chair. You don't want to feel that this time. You want to just be pulling up through the pelvic floor, so you shouldn't have any movement through the glutes on the chair. So again, pulling up, trying to stop wind passing. Pulling up to the front, stopping the flow of weight. Holding it there. Keep breathing. And release. We'll do a couple more. And release. So we're holding it a little bit longer now if we can. And last one. And release. Okay, so just relax for a moment and then we'll come on to some fast twitch. Basically have two muscle types, fast twitch and slow twitch. So we need to make sure we're working them all. So for fast twitch, we're going to pull in and release. So it's kind of on a 1 in, 1 out basis. Ready? Off we go. So pull in and release. Pull in. And release. Pull in, release. Aim for another 5 if you can. Last one. And well done. Okay, sitting up tall again. Bring your hands across your chest. So shoulders nice and low, back straight. And then just tuck your chin down slightly into your chest. Breath in, and then breathe out. Slowly leaning back, bringing the shoulders towards your chair. breathe in, come back up. So just work to your own range of movement. If you feel your feet are about to pop off the floor, then you don't need to go any further. By doing it slowly, you're making the muscles work for a little bit longer than if you did it quickly, so that's a good thing. Two more, remember to keep breathing. And then we're going to do rotations. So lean back slightly. Now you can either keep the arms where they are and just turn side to side, but you're aiming to keep your knees facing forwards, or bring your hands to your ears. Keep the elbows wide as you turn. And for an extra level of difficulty, just raise the knee that you are heading towards. You're not aiming to touch, just aiming to have to work a little bit harder to keep your balance. Keep the tummies pulled in. Two more, one more in each direction. And rest the arms back down, just give the legs a little bit of a shake. The next one we'll do the incline plank. If your chair is in a safe position, you can use your chair. But I don't want to see you disappearing from view as the chair skids out from underneath you. So it could be that a safer option for now is to do it against the wall. But I'll show you on the chair so you get the idea. Hands on the chair or on the wall, one leg back, tummy pulled in, second leg back, and then just squeezing the tummy in towards the spine. So squeeze, release, squeeze, release. You're trying to keep a straight line from heel to head. Try not to dip because that puts pressure on the back. So if you can't keep a straight line, it's better to just stick your bottom out a little bit. Two more squeezes. And relax. Coming back into a standing position. Okay, so we'll just do a couple of balance exercises. First one, we'll do the knee raises. Again, you might choose to have your chair there to hold on to. You might choose not to use it, but have it there in case you need it. Aim to keep the hips level. Imagine that's a bucket of water. You want to make sure the water doesn't tip out of the side. So just bringing one knee up. You're trying to just balance on one leg. Lowering that down and changing sides. Now, if balance is something that you're not that good at, what you can do instead is just bring the heel off the floor, but keep the toe touching very lightly. That gives you a little bit more support, but you're still working your balance. And again, slower the better because you have to control it for longer. Do one more on each side. And then I would hold on for this one. One hand on the chair, toe pointing forwards. We're looking for control in the hip. So we're going to draw circles around an imaginary tennis ball or football. The aim is to keep those circles as smooth as you can. Now you might find they're a bit jerky or that they're not very round. That's quite normal, certainly the first time you do it. But that's what we're trying to focus on. And change direction. And again, keep breathing. So the first time I did hip circles, they were definitely triangles. And change legs. Again, keep it slower because it makes it harder to control. And change direction. Bring that leg down in front of the other leg, so you're standing heel to toe. Take the hand away if you can. And then again, if you can, bring the arms out to the side. Have a slight turn to the side. Back into the middle. Over the other way. Back to the middle and reverse the feet. Again, hold on while you get your balance. And then if and when you're ready, hands away, out to the side. Slight turn. Back to the middle. And slight turn. I have to say that's looking really good, so well done. And back to the middle. Arms down by your sides, feet back under your hips, and just give everything a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're coming on to some stretching. So we'll do calves first of all. Again, you can do it against a wall, but you don't have to. So take the right foot back, have your heel off the floor. This time make sure your feet are hip width apart, not on a tight rope. As you push that back heel down, just bend the front knee. If you need a bigger stretch, take that front leg further forward or do it on the wall so you get a bigger range of movement. Just going to hold that. And change legs. So with the leg back, start off with heel off the floor, and then as you push the heel down, bend your front knee. Take some deep breaths. And back. Okay. So bring the arms down to your sides and then rotate so the palms are forwards. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And release. Again, rotate, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now we'll do one more. We'll then bring the arms forwards, elbows out wide, fingers overlapping. Drop your chin down, and as you breathe out, push forwards, but keep the elbows wide. You should now feel a stretch between the shoulder blades. And then take the right arm overhead. I'm just going to come down on my knees because then you'll see my arms. So take the right arm overhead, and then bring the palm onto the nape of the neck. Support that joint with your other hand, and then you should feel a stretch down here. If you need a bigger stretch, use your thumb to just press down on the bone on the outside of the arm. So from the back, it looks like that. And changing over. And then bring your arms back down to your sides. Breath in, and as you breathe out, slide down to the side, back to the middle, and over the other way. One more each way. Stand behind your chair. Have your feet chair width apart, and then step back a little bit, and then try and bend the elbows so that you're bringing your chest down towards the floor. You try to push the bottom out behind you, you should feel a stretch down the back of the body. Hold it there. And push back up. Okay, we'll do one more of those. So you're just going to push the bottom to the wall behind you. Try and bring the chest to the floor, or parallel to the floor. Just hold it there. And standing back up. Right arm across the body. Just bring it in. Push back into your supporting hand as you do. And left arm across the body. Hands onto the small of your back. Squeeze the elbows together. So again, I'll show you from behind. If you want a bigger stretch, interlink your fingers and squeeze the elbows that way. And then arms down by your sides. Just pull the shoulders up to your ears and drop them down. Do one more. Take a big breath in, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Stretch up to your ceiling. And then bring them back down. And very well done, thank you very much.